Welcome to the Repsychled podcast, where we discuss everyday issues from a mental health perspective. We are your hosts, Dr. Rashonda Strickland,
Dr. LaFonya Jones-Hines,
and Dr. Nichelle Wall. Now, don't get it twisted. We're not going to be your stereotypical therapist.
What we will be is informative, down to earth, a little spicy, and vulnerable.
All right, interns, turn up your volume, grab your pen and paper. It's supervision time. As a reminder, this podcast is not meant to take the place of a relationship with a licensed mental health professional.
Welcome back to session 87, Movie Mental Breakdown, 50 Shades of Grey Trilogy, 50 Shades of Grey 2015, 50 Shades Darker 2017, and 50 Shades Freed 2018. And our mood music for this session is Crazy in Love, the 2014 remix by Beyonce, also found on track 10 of the soundtrack.
When I sound like a DJ right there on like on Midnight Love.
It did. Get that quiet storm voice going.
Long as it produces body rolls, I'm good.
Yeah, that's what I felt like doing. Like, yeah, y'all say.
Oh man. I will say that when I heard that song for the first time, I was like, oh, wait a minute, hold on. I like this one better than the original Crazy in Love.
Yeah.
Because I was like, this sound who did this remix? This sounds super. Because I almost didn't recognize the song at first.
Mm-hmm.
It took a long time. I was like, what song is this? And I was like, these words sound familiar. I was like, why?
Beat.
And I was like, these words. I was like, I know these words, but why is it not registering? And then when she said Crazy in Love, I was like, wait, hold on. Crazy in Love? But I was like, yeah, this was good.
They chopped and screwed it.
They did, for real. It's real sexy.
Yeah.
And pretty much it was like The Weeknd soundtrack because it's like
it's like 3 songs or something like that.
Every other song was by The Weeknd, but I also love him too.
Yes.
Okay, so 50 Shades Trilogy. Now y'all know, because this is 3 movies, there is no way in hell we are doing each scene by scene for 3 movies.
Yeah.
I don't have that attention span.
Yeah.
First of all.
This is a combo for real.
Yeah. Because the amount of notes that we all have, this would be like a 5-hour breakdown.
Yeah. But before we hop in, and I forgot to tell the ladies this, but we have a new country.
Oh, wow.
That is subscribing to us. So shout out to the mother continent and the country of Malawi.
Ooh.
Okay. So shout out to y'all.
Thank you.
Welcome. Welcome to the internship. We appreciate that. Okay, so y'all know this whole month been about freaky things.
Yes.
And kinky things.
Okay.
Think about freaking you.
Mm-hmm.
You.
And what better way to end off the month than with a movie trilogy that's all about freaky things.
Yes. With a little mental health in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. So, first thoughts about this set of movies. I was telling Dr. Wall that I was like, I feel like I could have done without the third one.
I felt the same way.
It was a wrap up, but you know,
I feel like we could have put all these movies in one. And taken, that is not a word, taken the fluff out of it. And I feel the same way about the books. Because I did read the books back in the day.
Yeah.
I definitely feel like the third one could have gone with the second one. Like they could have just got married with the second one.
Because it wasn't like, it ain't like she walked in there like Belle.
Yeah.
From Twilight. It wasn't no thousands.
Yeah.
Song playing in the background.
No.
It was just, you got married. You looked cute though.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I thought the proposal had more to it than the wedding itself.
Right.
So that's my initial thoughts on the film. I also believe and I was telling Dr. Wall this as well, that this could have been the introduction to NC-17 rated movies, and they really flopped here. Because a lot of companies are scared of the NC-17 rating. Like, oh my God, that's like the stamp of death. But I'm like, y'all made 3 movies about sex.
That really didn't have no whole bunch of sex in it.
Right.
Right.
And so this was a golden opportunity to prove that adults will go see something that got naked bodies and freaky things. But, you know, they just didn't go that far. So that's one of my other critiques about the movie. But we will dive into, you know, all the regular stuff that we normally talk about. So we start off with
the characters.
Yes. See, and I haven't even committed these people, because this is our first non-black film. So like,
we just not acting appropriate today.
I don't even know, and I don't mean that in no kind of disrespectful way. So I didn't commit these individuals' names to them. However, I feel like because there's so many, there's 3 movies and a lot of people.
Yes.
The 2 main characters, Jamie Dornan plays Christian Grey, and Dakota Johnson plays Anastasia eventually Grey. And then that's as far as I got.
We also have Luke Grimes, who plays Elliot Grey, who is Christian's brother. We have Rita Ora, also as a singer. You know, she's a singer. She plays Mia Grey, which is his sister. We have Eloise Mumford, who is Kate or Katherine or Katharina, whichever you want to go by. We have Elena Lincoln, which is played by Kim Basinger, the ultimate sex symbol back in the day.
She was.
We have Max Martini, who plays Jason Taylor, or Taylor, as he's commonly called in the movie. And then we have Eric Johnson, who plays Jack Hyde. We have Grace, which is their mother, who is played by Marcia Gay Harden. And I can't find Dad. Let me see where Dad is. Dad is Andrew Airley, and he's just Mr. Grey, you know. So those are the main people. I'm not going to go into all the others because they don't play a huge role.
And this says Jose, but I could have swore his name was Carlos in the film.
Which person?
I think it was Jose. You talking about the guy who liked Anastasia? I think it was Jose. Yeah.
Yes, it's Jose.
It is Jose.
Jose Rodriguez.
Yeah. I don't know why I thought his name was Carlos. Because that's literally what I wrote throughout my whole notes. So again, you see how
we sorry, Victor Rasuk.
I'm sorry about that. Let me go ahead and put that out there now.
Sorry about that.
But even though we're not going to go scene by scene, what I did say in my notes was I thought that the opening song was fitting for the trilogy. And the opening song, for those that haven't seen the first film, is I Put a Spell on You. Now, it's not sung by the original person that sang the song. However, it definitely goes into what happens between Christian and Anastasia, or Anna, because they kind of go back and forth with that throughout the film. You know, how like desire and innocence play off of one another throughout the film.
Yeah.
So we start off with you have the super methodical, overly organized, you know, borderline OCPD. Let me put that more correctly. OCPD individuals in Psych 101.
I was just like, what is that?
Yeah. Psych 101, OCPD is obsessive compulsive personality disorder. This is what most people think OCD is. So this is the person that like to make lists. They like things really clean, neat, and orderly. Your, you know, stereotypical type A personality. Now, OCD is a completely different thing, where you have obsessions and compulsions that don't always relate to cleanliness and orderliness.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's related to checking. Sometimes it's related to contamination, intrusive thoughts about doom, death, things like that. So it doesn't necessarily, it's not, oh, all of my canned goods have to face the same direction. No,
Not the same.
not the same. So he's kind of your classic, almost looking like narcissist OCPD person.
Mm-hmm.
Looking like 007 getting dressed.
He did.
I love a man in a suit.
And
And
then
a
there's
tie.
a dichotomy with Anna and her
Yes.
all over the place.
Just disheveled.
type B. Yeah, just hot mess in every sense of the word.
Yeah. It didn't even look like she had combed her hair in the first scene.
Mm-hmm.
Just running around. You doing an
In
interview
class.
with a multi-millionaire. We're just going to call him a billionaire. And this how
Well, he
you
was a
look.
billionaire.
He's a billionaire?
Yeah.
I couldn't
Mhm.
remember.
Mhm.
And I'm just looking like, Anna, come on, Anna.
This what you going in with?
Even Bella knew how to comb her hair.
Yes, you got on a cardigan.
And some thick tights,
Yeah.
Oh, she looked like she just
With some
stepped out of the...
nursing shoes on,
Mm-hmm.
the old school joints.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things I was thinking about, you can see like the element of control that he exerts just in his life overall. Because even his office setting is black and white and gray.
Yeah.
It's very black and white. So if we think about like just cognitive distortions and things like it's this or that.
Because even the women that worked in his office looked like they had to have like every piece of hair put in the right place.
Yeah.
Their makeup had to be beat. Their clothes had to be fashionable.
And they were all wearing
Mm-hmm.
neutrals.
And they are all blonde as to
Mhm.
not incite his preference of,
Mm-hmm.
partners. But what I thought was weird and cool at the same time is that although he is extremely black and white, throughout the process, he actually starts to live up to his name by getting into the relationship
Mm-hmm.
with Anna and becoming more gray instead of being so polar.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That was kind of what I was thinking, that, this film really shows his,
Transition.
yeah, because I was
Mhm.
like, it's not really a decompensation or down spiral. It's
No.
really like an up spiral,
Yeah.
transcendence
Yeah.
into gray,
Yeah.
figuratively and literally.
Mm-hmm.
So that is one of the things that I did appreciate about this film
Yes.
is that you do see his true transition.
Mm-hmm.
But you see hers
for both
too.
of them.
You see,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I know we haven't really gotten on her, but I think with Anna, you see her transition as well. She started off as this meek virgin who didn't really know anything about relationships to this grown woman who like, you ain't putting nothing in my butt.
I wrote that and I was
Not
like,
your
in
booty.
capital letters, I was like, she does not like anal.
Right.
No butt stuff.
Right.
The other thing I was thinking about this, and we'll talk about these types of people later on in the year, but I was like, this is what people think about a high value man.
Yep.
That whole
And
idea.
they ain't.
Yeah, he's a high earner as of the present time when we see him right now
Yes.
in the 50 Shades Grey movie. He's a high earner.
Mm-hmm.
However, he's not a high value
Not
man.
until about
midway
third
through
movie.
Yeah, I was like midway through maybe the second movie.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, this is what people think of when they think of a high value man. They think of this,
Mhm.
billionaire, can sweep you off your feet and give you all the things that you want. And
which is only 2% of the population, and all these men talking about they high value.
yeah.
Let me come back.
That's why I said we'll talk about these later. But
But
but I did write that this is what people think of when they see high value. Just kind of
Mhm.
their off the cuff idea of it.
and they would see her as definitely being out of his league.
Her being out
Him.
of his
Him
league.
being out of
her
no,
lead.
No. She's out of his because he's supposedly a high value man. So she would never be someone he would choose.
Oh, he would be out of her league.
Yeah, because he's above her, according to
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Samuology.
Yeah. I see what you did there. But, you know, so she does her little interview thing with him and is like a complete train wreck. But somehow she's intriguing to him.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, because she's trainable.
And that was the other thing. She has this dough and, you know, this Bambi-esque feel about her. There's something that is like a moth to a flame when it just throughout the film, you see men throughout the film. She's like a moth to a flame. Yeah. So, you know, she seems easily controllable, but also like damsel in distress.
Even though it's not her personality. Because we find that she's very actually firm in a lot of her beliefs because of her upbringing.
Yeah. If anything, she's probably more of a dom herself. But I was like, she has this way of attracting protection from men.
She's disarming.
Very. And if you go off general, you know, because of course there's a spectrum, but if we're talking about generalities, men like to protect, men like to provide, and she draws that out of them. And like you said, a very disarming kind of way.
Yeah.
Because I was like, girl, get it together. Like, what are you doing? You're making us look bad. But there was one part that he talked about being able to harness power and find ways to get people to reach their best potential.
In the interview.
And I was like, this is another piece where they're talking about the progression of what their relationship is going to end up being. You know, that kind of. Thank you. That's the word I was looking for.
Boom, gotcha.
So I was like, man, they do a lot of this in the movie. Because I was like, he's testing her like gently in all these different ways. Because you know he's a dom.
Yeah.
So
he's a true dom.
So he thought until he got a dom. And was like, no, I'm not. I feel like I'm a submissive.
She's technically a brat.
You think so? I was thinking she was a switch.
I think she became a switch like towards the middle of movie 2. I'm gonna say book 2. We're reviewing movies. But I think at the beginning she was more bratty. Like once she fully owned it, she was in her little sweet spot.
Yeah.
Well, I think she was a brat because she didn't know what she was getting into.
True.
So
but sarcasm is her lovely language because she does that even with Kate. Her sarcasm. She's real dry.
Yeah. She is. She has a cat and mouse.
Yeah.
Feel to it. Yeah. Agreed. So, you know, we figure that she is going to be getting the interview and she helps her homegirl out and it turns out to be a success because he's like, yeah, I want to try that.
Want that brunette.
I want that. That made me, that piqued my interest there. You know, made some things get excited. And the tension is high between them. Like the sexual energy between the two of them is like not even 10.
Yeah.
Because he piqued her interest too. They was connecting with each other.
That energy was out there.
Yes. Especially like when they get on the elevator. Christian, Anna.
And this is also where it starts the whole stop biting your lip thing. So
you can see it's a thing for him.
Yeah.
So she one thing I noticed is just she kept the pen, the gray from his office.
Yeah.
Because she didn't have no pencil to do your interview.
To do the interview.
Type B. There you go. Opposites
attract. Not together. Just not together at all.
And I was like, boy, she is fantasizing hard about this man.
After she left? Where was she? In class?
Can y'all imagine if that had been Idris?
Yes.
We're not going to make this a black film, but that's not the point. That right there?
I was like, oh. Oh, man. But there's some other dynamics going on for Anna on top of just her normal, you know, kind of frazzled self is that she's also graduating from graduate school.
It's some high up.
I don't, because they don't actually say whether it's graduate school or undergrad, but I know she's got some sort of degree in English lit.
Yeah.
But her mom cancels on going to graduation
because she's sorry.
I was like, what a poor excuse.
Because your husband,
your husband's sick. What they got to do with you?
And the person who really been taking care of her whole life is her stepfather.
Right.
Your mama, that's sorry. I'm sorry. Let me come back. Come back.
And I was like, so this, where we get a little bit background on her submissive nature, because she was just like, it's okay, without being firm in like, no, like I want you to come. Like this hurts my feelings. I really want you to be there. She just kind of brushed it off in order to just keep things, flowing smoothly, and it's water under the bridge, even though it really isn't.
Yeah.
And then he shows up at her work. This what I thought was, he's kind of stalkerish. I get that he's a dom, I do, but he's a dom in a way that's like, that's kind of creepy, guy,
and controlling,
like over the top. And scary.
But I think that's also why this is a white people movie.
Because I'm like, think about this in a real world setting. Like some dude that you interview randomly shows up at your job and starts calling you Miss Steele, Miss Steele. After you've been like, you can call me, Anna, Miss Steele. Like
he's establishing
the MF. I said you can call. Why you keep calling me that?
Because he's establishing the role play, and you gonna follow what he want.
Yeah, but it's got major creep vibes.
It do.
However, because he makes a lot of money, a lot of people will overlook it.
Right.
Yep.
But this is where you, I guess, kind of see her sarcasm. She was like, "Are you redecorating, ma'am?" You see what first of all, you work in a hardware store.
The things that he's asking you for.
And the things that he's asking you for is not redecoratable.
American Psycho. I'd have been like, you want what?
Be like, don't kill me, Freaky Jason.
Okay, because I'm like, sir, these things go together. These ain't like random items. These things go together.
Right.
Like, that means you wrapping up something.
But it cracked me up because he's like, can you think of anything else I might want? And she was like, coveralls. I was like, Anastasia. No,
I mean, because like the things that he's asking for, I'd be like, he trying to like wrap up a body or
I know,
something. Because
you need a
you asking for tape and rope and zip ties and okay, like that. Like I said, that goes together.
The only thing you need now is the throw rug.
Okay. Some tarp.
Yes.
Like
some bleach.
Sir. Right.
But I was like, look at him asking for all the classic BDSM items. Classic. And she didn't even know it at the time. He's setting you up, girl. That was a setup. Yes. He was setting you up.
And he could tell she didn't know nothing
about what he was talking about.
Grooming.
Just as green as the day. This was 50 Shades of Green for her.
Yeah. I did like in this scene how she was still aware that she needed to complete the process for her friend Kate as far as getting the picture and was able to secure that. Of course, he's interested in her, but she also took the initiative because this man had maybe a couple of pictures anywhere. So I did like that she's still somewhat got her head in the game, even though she's clueless about this lifestyle.
Absolutely. And I think, just clearly throughout all three films, but definitely in the first two, you can see how rebellious he is on being controlled by other people. Because just speaking on the photo shoot when
he was not photogenic at all,
said to smile,
he said, "Nope."
Yeah,
I was like, "Sir,
so
you just can't take pictures?"
But also, Mr. Grey is peeping that there's an attraction from Jose to Anna, and he ain't liking that.
No,
because she already his, even though he fighting
in his mind.
Yeah,
right. I'm like, because he was asking her too many questions about me. Sir, get out of my business. Get over there in that picture. and smile.
Because at this point, she feeling him, but she's still a little oblivious.
But you know what? I'm gonna tell y'all one thing that I could respect about Anna. She had game.
She did.
She had some real game. I was like, how you a virgin and you got that much game?
With
Girl.
all the men.
Right.
And we forgot the dude that she worked with.
Oh yeah, his creepy vibe when he came up on her at the register
With the touch. I was like, don't touch me, sir.
You want me to help? I want you to stop touching me.
And get away from me.
Right. Get back. Get towards
50
the shelf.
Yeah,
feet. Get back. Give me 50 feet.
But every man that came in contact with her adored her in some type of way, whether
Absolutely.
it was obsession, which we will later talk about, or if it was like, I just love you because you're such a sweet person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, there was something, about her that just drew. Even women, not just men. She just drew people, which is weird because I'm like, she would not be somebody I want to hang out with. However, she did hook her friend up with the billionaire brother. So in hindsight, maybe I would be like, girl, if you can get me with the billionaire brother,
Because when they went to the club and he brought the brother, I was like, see, that's how you fix somebody up right there.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you do. You bring him.
Okay.
No comment.
Oh, man. So, of course, throughout this, and I know we're not going to go scene by scene, but I think the first movie kind of needs a little bit of setup.
Mm-hmm.
But, again, you just slowly see his attempts to show his dominance. Like when they were on their little date and he tried to order for her.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, yeah, no.
I'll just have a salad.
It wasn't even a salad. They was at a pastry spot.
The first part was, was the coffee
date.
Yes, the coffee date.
And she drank tea.
Mm-hmm.
Earl Grey.
Was it Earl Grey?
I think so.
Look at them dropping nuggets throughout the movie.
Subliminal messages.
Yeah, but she was like, yeah, no, I'm good. And I was like, man, she's just like, everything she does triggers his need to be a dom even more.
Mm-hmm.
Which is where I can see where you say the brat part, because she's actively telling him no.
Mm-hmm.
And for somebody that's a dominant, it's like, how dare you tell me no?
She topping from the bottom.
You ain't said nothing but a word. Because I didn't write that, but that's what I wrote consistently throughout my notes. I'm like, she really is the dom in this situation.
That's why I said he didn't know.
He's really the sub.
Yes, she is a dom. Now, I do understand why y'all say brat and switch, but Hunty, she's the dom.
But, if y'all were listening to our sessions, y'all realize that the person that actually holds the power is the submissive. So it makes complete sense,
Yeah.
Because when the sub says stop, because later on you see in the film, as soon as she said red, he was undoing them buckles real quick.
Yeah.
Massage. Let me come back. We're not talking about aftercare.
Yes. But just to kind of, connect the piece that the sub is the one that really holds the key to all of this.
Yeah.
But I think initially she was intimidated by him. And so I think that's why y'all should see both of their facial expressions.
She was so overwhelmed.
Yes.
But I don't think that it was the sexual stuff. I think it was the money and where she came from and not really having stuff. I think her being able to be accepted by his group of people, being in the limelight, the funding that he has, because I think she handled the sexual, except for the one scene, handled the sexual stuff actually really well for somebody new to it.
Well, see, and I wasn't thinking it was the sex either, because this was before they had even gotten to that part. But I do agree with you, but I would add to that, I think it was just the connection they had, and it could have been sexual tension too, and not know, because she's a virgin, she don't know what that is.
Yeah.
So just being green, not knowing what is this I'm feeling with this man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with both of y'all, and I also think it was the speed, because the timing, and I wrote this in all caps and bold and made it like 16-point font. The timing in this movie
all of this happened in a year and a half.
See, I was thinking it was less than that.
It all from meeting all the way to the final
like
scene.
Is a year
wedding
and a half.
day? You talking
No,
about wedding?
with the
Final-
babies.
With the babies.
Oh,
Okay. So all right, now that makes sense to me because I
Yeah.
was like, the timing of this, the pacing of all of this stuff that's happened is ridiculous.
It's quick.
And I was like, there's no way because there was one
well,
scene.
she said that too. She said that we got married. We're getting married quick.
Everybody, well, not everybody, let me rephrase that. The adults
Mm-hmm.
on her side were kind of like, are you sure about this type of
Yeah.
thing? His mom and them was like, oh, thank God. Ooh, take him.
Yeah.
Help him.
Finally got a woman around.
Yes,
Because they thought the man was gay.
they did. Well, clearly
Everybody
other people
did.
It wasn't just the mama.
No.
Because she had said something like, well, about the Jack guy. She was like, yeah, we just let him go a few weeks ago. And I was like, wait, a few weeks ago? I was like, what? So that was immediately, and I was like, the pacing of this is got to be like boom, 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 boom. Like we got married within like 2 months or like 6 months or something.
Yeah.
So I also, on top of what you ladies said, think that it was also the speed at which this all happened,
Yeah.
which can be a lot to take in. I've gone from being a version of myself. Yes, I've gone from that to having 0 sexual encounters to I'm a sub. I mean, that is a huge leap for somebody in that span of time. So I do think it was the money. I think it was the understanding her feelings and the speed at which all of that was happening.
Yeah, I agree.
So we also learn, I don't know why I thought this man's name was Carlos.
Jose.
I'm going to have to go back and look at that because I could have swore that man's name was Carlos.
He was probably in a whole nother movie.
Dang. But yeah, we do also find out that he's got feelings for her. He tries to kiss her, which he got friend zoned real quick and almost knocked out.
I mean, it almost throwed up on.
And just,
Poor
sir,
Anna.
you couldn't be no harder in the friend zone.
Sir, you been in the friend zone.
I
When
mean,
did you miss
he
that?
was cute though. I ain't gonna lie, but
It wasn't enough.
she not giving you no signs of romance. Like she's so oblivious.
Mm-hmm.
And you are
She said
so in
family.
your, and he is oblivious too, obviously, because sir, you didn't know you were in that china cabinet as the friend.
Never to come out.
No.
Mm-mm.
But I do, in that particular scene that we're talking about at the bar where she done got drunk and
Drunk dial
Christian, and
I don't think that was even a drunk dial. She meant to do that.
I mean, but she was
But
toe
she was
up.
drunk.
She was
Yeah, I
toe
know.
up.
Yeah,
I
that's true.
appreciate his morals of I need to go make sure you're okay.
Mm-hmm.
He is already, even though he's fighting it, he is in full dom mode, and she has not agreed to be his submissive. But he is in full. He's almost a daddy dom, to be honest.
Yeah.
And being a daddy dom means you are a nurturer. You take care of them, all things, and we'll see that as everything unfolds with the amount of appointments she was going to. But this fool done showed up. He done
told her. Yes.
I was like, how?
Taylor.
Stalkerish.
Taylor is in the military.
Because I was like, creep.
Mm-hmm.
Any other setting, this would be creepy.
Yes.
It doesn't even matter how much. Now, at this point, it wouldn't matter how much money you had. How do you know where I'm at?
You about to get these hollow points.
Yes. I was like, this got to be some movie stuff. Because drunk or not, I'd have been like, where did you come from?
Right.
And she briefly said it, but inebriated.
She ain't stay on it and didn't come back to it.
Yeah,
As they say, she was white girl wasted.
she was. And I'm like, it's just too much.
But I can appreciate you bringing your brother though.
Yeah.
Because that's what made it
As
less creepy.
Yes.
As the homegirl.
Right.
Thank you, sis.
Appreciate it.
And they just,
From that moment forward.
Right.
I mean, they clearly were a match. So
Made in heaven.
it was great. It worked out for Kate and Elliot.
Yes.
All the way through. Because they was together.
Oh yeah, they were together.
But this is where we really start to see him introducing the idea now of what he's into. He ain't quite opened the door all the way, but he done cracked it.
They still locked a little bit though.
It's the one with the little chain on it. He cracked it. I can see a little bit. I'm like, oh, okay, what's going on here? Because I'm like, you done took this girl to the hotel or wherever he took her.
Penthouse. Was it a hotel or his penthouse?
It was a hotel.
Oh, okay.
You done undressed the girl and got her cleaned up. And again, any other setting, this would be major creep vibes.
Yep.
And now we start the romancing, the buying of the gifts and all these things. And
must be nice.
Yeah.
I need a laptop, a car. I don't need any of these things, but I'm just saying
It'd be nice.
He was
Showering
whining and dining.
He was. And I think this is where he, is more overt with his sexual energy towards her now. Again, he hasn't quite opened the door, but he's at least testing the waters. He put a little pinky toe in there when he was like, you won't be able to sit down for a week.
Shoot, the fact that you bit my toast and then asked me.
That too.
I'd have been mad for a minute because I like butter toast personally, but then I'd have been like, oh, he trying to flirt. Okay, let me focus.
Yes. So, we're not going to go all this like that in depth. So we're going to kind of speed through some of this. So they go on their little dates and, he's whining and dining her. So now, this is like, I'm getting my claws into you.
He's going on these dates, even though he told her he don't romance.
Because he like her in a different way.
I was like, sir, for you to not romance, you sure doing a lot of romancing.
Courting, the courtship.
Yes.
It really was, to be honest.
Yes.
True. So then we get to a point where he's, talking to her about an NDA. And she's like, wait, what do I need an NDA for? What we about to be getting into that I need an NDA? He's like, all right, so let me learn you something real quick.
His likes are a little bit more singular.
Yeah, I have a particular set of skills.
I'm sorry.
With weapons. You gonna see them as weapons
of
at first.
mass pleasure.
Okay.
But then you gonna see them as mass pleasure.
And I was like, oh, she just signed that joint.
No, she didn't sign it.
Didn't.
The NDA? She did sign
the
NDA.
NDA, not
She
the
did
actual
sign the NDA. She didn't sign the contract.
That's
but she signed that NDA.
Yeah,
did.
that is right.
I was like, oh, you just, okay. You don't even know what you're.
She's like, what am I going to
say?
say?
Did you read the NDA? You didn't even read what it was about.
I
ma'am.
trust you.
Did you read the fine prints?
I was like, she was just like, okay. I ain't going to tell nobody nothing about nothing. So then.
Well, they had a conversation.
They had a little conversation and she was talking about, she want to make love. And he was like, oh, I don't do that.
But then he realized, oh, she ain't never had sex. And he was like, oh, we got to rectify this immediately.
Which is something that I did like. I could appreciate that he didn't just throw her into the red room.
Bad.
And
the
she
red room
ain't
of
even,
pain.
yes.
She'd been like, woo, woo, woo.
Right. And she hadn't even experienced the D before.
Yeah.
She want the D.
So what I agree with you. I was like, I loved that he eased her into sexual activity. Literally. And he was gentle with her and that he gave her, this is what it can be like.
But we can take it up a notch.
Yeah. We're going to take it up a notch.
There's no other option because he don't do vanilla. Like
That's
he
true.
said that
That's
so
true.
many times, even though he literally does vanilla.
Yes.
The lowest. Now we don't know what he did with his other subs because clearly
I don't think that
old girl was
poor baby. She wasn't ready.
Right. Yeah. But I was like, he was very gentle with her, and I did like that he gave her an experience of like, this is what sex can be like, without scaring her.
And he also had like the vanilla version of BDSM in there, even in the initial, like the where the hands can go, where they can't go. And his are for different reasons. Obviously, we find out that he has some type of scars on his chest. But I do
literally and figuratively.
Yeah, but I do like the fact that it was a combination. He knew how far he can go. He didn't like really cross his boundaries. He was in his realm, and then he also was very attentive to her. Like that is the main thing that I hope people who are interested in being doms take away from this, is that the dom is always cognizant and aware of the care that they give their submissive.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that is one thing. He was super observant. He never, he never lost control of himself.
No. And he made her use her words.
Mm-hmm.
I can't hear you, Anna. Count with me.
And she's like, so he finally takes her, to the red room, and she sees all the little trinkets and gadgets and things she's never seen before.
I like it. I'm gonna have one. It's gonna be connected to my closet.
Yours
You're
will
gonna
be
push it. It's probably gonna be black.
Ew. But I was like, that's awesome to have like a room, like just all kinds of
gadgets.
All kinds of gadgets.
Like it was like cold blooded. I know a lot of people have what is considered their dungeons or whatever, but I like the fact that it was set apart. You know what I mean?
House.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it was set up to engage in the type of activity that he specifically enjoyed.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is categorized.
Yes.
This is the OCD PD part of him.
Mm-hmm.
OCPD part of him, excuse me. It's all categorized, cuffs with cuffs, whip type articles with whip type articles.
I bet the home edit would have loved to work with him with their organization stuff. Cause I was like, this is so
organized.
Organized. Yeah. He's like
I could see everything.
Yeah. So anytime I read a book that has BDSM in it now, I visualize the Red Room of Pain.
Yeah. I mean, cause it's, what do you want today?
Mm-hmm.
Just pull the drawer out. Here's all the gags.
Oh, so
here's
you want to hang from the ceiling?
Yeah,
okay.
like he had a whole thing, like it just kind of pulls down. I mean, it's a whole.
Yeah,
but you're a billionaire, so you can.
Of course, you can get that.
You can get stuff
high
created
earning
like
man.
that. Who made this room? Who made it?
I feel like it's probably a real room in somebody's house.
That would be interesting.
That would be interesting. I would love to know that.
It's probably an NDA sign.
That is true. That is true.
But she asks him if he's a sadist.
Yes. Duh.
Yes, he is. But not only.
Right.
And I think that was the thing that she and a lot of people confuse about BDSM.
Mm-hmm.
That they only think sadism and masochism. They don't think about anything else.
They don't think about the B or the D.
But yes, he is also a sadist.
Mm-hmm.
And you, ma'am, are also a masochist.
Yes, she is.
So again, we're not going to go into all of the things, but they have some sexy time, and he introduces her again very gently, because he really did the dip your toe in, then put one foot in, and into this whole world. Like he didn't just go straight in for okay, we're gonna use hooks and hang you from the ceiling. Type
he really
stuff.
did know how to groom her.
He did,
and we're speaking in the consensual way. Not
I was like,
not
in the good way,
Yes.
not in the illegal way. But again, and we'll say this throughout this breakdown, that he was really gentle and patient and slow with her, considering how fast all of this happened.
Yeah.
But he gave her time to process what was going on with her.
This is gonna be so weird, because I think one of the first times he introduced the kinks to her, I was like, "You didn't shave, Anna? You didn't?"
She don't know.
I was like, "But you just lost your virginity. I guess you right. You don't know. Your mama didn't tell you. I guess I don't know. But you didn't shave that."
No,
he gonna get it right.
He a dom.
Yeah, because I did. The next time I was like, "Okay, she shaved this time."
Yeah, he don't play that, because he done got her going to doctors. Like he's very structured and
he
routine.
said you ain't having no babies,
dietitian stuff, like all of that.
Make sure your pH balance is right.
Drink your pineapple juice.
Eat your vegetables and drink your water. He was not playing with her. And we just kind of see him being a dom in all areas of his life, because he's even controlling with his mom. And I was like, okay, so I think this is also another visual. When people think about a person that's a dom, they're probably going to exhibit this characteristic in other areas of life. They may not be as intense as they are in the bedroom.
Yeah.
But it will still be seen in other areas, just like how he was with mom, very kind of standoffish and closed off, and it was like, hey, do this or stop doing this, or stop asking questions, get up out of here.
Yeah. I will say something else that I liked is that Anna constantly pushed his capacity to love. She didn't settle for anything less, just like he didn't settle for anything less on his end. And so even to the fact she in there dancing in his shirt, cooking and stuff like that, and I know he's never had that. He's like, what in the world is happening?
He's like, wait, she in here cooking? She did that baby boy on that behind. Going and made me some tacos. Right. I said, he put it down on her, but she had not she didn't know in that way. Right. She had never experienced anything like that.
How many can say that they had a pleasurable experience the first time?
I would venture to say not most people.
Yeah. No redo.
And most people, let me not say most, a lot of people don't experience it as an adult. So she was an adult. So there's a different experience you're gonna likely have having your first time be obviously in their mid-20s, if not late 20s, versus you're 15 or 16.
Yeah.
But she was in there cooking that breakfast, just a dancing, and she was glowing,
making him feel like he had a happy home, a family.
And he was like, "Oh, I could get used to this. Hold on, this is a whole different level of dom that I wasn't even ready for."
Again, I like her game.
And she didn't even know it.
Yes.
That's the best game. You got game and you don't even know you got game.
Yep.
You're just a genuinely nice person.
So then he now is like, yeah,
we go together.
So let me now present you with this contract that I got because I want you to be mine for real.
Yes.
And of course we're gonna skip a whole bunch of stuff here, but what I appreciated that she actually read it. Yes. And she was like, yeah, I'm not okay with this. I'm not okay with this. And I'm not okay with this.
And I like that she made him sweat. She was like, no, she left him on red. No, I'm not answering this right now.
Yeah.
I loved that. One, because it showed her level of understanding that even though this is not a world that I'm a part of, I want to understand you, and I want to be able to meet you where you are, but also preserve my own boundaries.
Was this before or after she said no? She said no the first time, and then this is the second time, right?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Because she ran out on him at the end of the movie.
Oh, yeah.
The first movie.
Yes.
So we're technically into the second movie now.
Yeah. Because I was like, we're going to have to skip some stuff, y'all.
Yeah, because it's not as important.
Yeah. I was like, some of this is just a lot of fluff.
Yes.
But
from the first movie, we do need to introduce, where's my words, Jack, because he ends up being a part of the third story.
So she's interviewing to find her home job, for after graduating, because she graduated in the first film and Christian spoke at it as the, speaker. And then she started doing her searching and she actually got hired by her first pick. We later find out some other stuff of why she got hired, but that's not the point yet. But we find out that her boss is a little cringy. Jack has got some serious boundary issues. You don't know quite what it is, but keep your eye open.
Yeah.
And stay facing him. Don't turn your back.
Both of those things. There was one thing that I wanted to say also about Christian that I liked when and this is kind of bouncing back what he said to her about the red room and just kind of his activity, is that a lot of times it's not the actual thing that we're afraid of. We're afraid of what's in our head.
Yeah.
Because then he spanked that ass. He was like, did that hurt?
She was like, no. And I was like, see, this is, what lets you know that it's a mind game.
Yeah.
For some levels of BDSM.
Yes.
Now, other levels, it's not necessarily a mind game.
Ain't no mind in it.
Yeah. But for the level that they do in this film, it's really a mind game.
Yeah.
So I did want to at least kind of say that I did like that part of him.
Mm-hmm.
Because he really is coaching her. So I see the Daddy Dom version that you're talking about, because he really does teach her throughout the films.
But then he turns around and slaps us with the creepiness because he ends up at her apartment.
He be going back and forth.
It was creepy, but it was nice.
At the end part of it.
Yeah.
At the end part of it. But
Yeah.
damn, it was creepy. I couldn't get past the creepy.
Yeah, there's a lot.
It is.
It's just that he has so much information. And this also lets you know that when you have a lot of money, your ability to move in the world is very different than people that don't.
Yeah. But she did go along for the ride.
She did.
I feel like any time throughout these movies that Anna had a problem with him and she said no, he literally stopped. Like, Mrs. Robinson trained him very well, even though she is a creep, to abide by the rules of BDSM and domination and submission. So I can't appreciate that. So even in real life, like their public life, it was like, nah, don't come near me.
Oh, because when she gave him that firm no, he became a sub immediately. He was like, oh, yes, ma'am.
Yes, because technically he's a switch. Just not with anybody other than Mrs. Robinson.
Because he was like, instantly, he became his earlier version of self. I was like, okay, she didn't have to use no safe word with you. The word no worked just fine. So I agree with you there. So, they just enjoy each other's company. There's all kinds of things happening. And, he's slowly like pushing her boundaries on, hey, we're going to do a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more. But she is still essentially struggling with the idea of this whole thing. Again, the timing of this is all very quick. It's a lot to take in. So she's still struggling with understanding why things have to be the way that they are.
Yeah, I think yes, I agree. And to add to that, I think she's struggling with how come we can't have a relationship.
And
the negotiation. He wasn't used to that. And I think he needed to remember he did not start this relationship off looking for a submissive. Although, yes, he technically was, but the way that they met and the way he pursued her was submission and a relationship. And so that's not what he's ever done before in any of his other encounters. So this was the first time he was doing this, and he's just out of his depth. Did they talk about his mom in the first movie? Because we haven't mentioned that at all. So that's coming up.
She just met him.
Yeah.
I mean, met her.
Yeah.
His biological mom. His bio mom.
No.
No, that's in the second movie.
Okay. Yeah.
So towards the end of the second movie, the first movie, excuse me, she's really trying to understand, like, help me see why you want to. In her mind, she believes it's inflict pain on me. That's kind of how she's seeing it.
Why do you want to hurt me?
Why do you want to hurt me? Because her mind is pure relationship. And she's like, why can't we do these freaky things and be together? Like, why does it have to be either or? And he's still transitioning from black and white to maybe a charcoal gray right now. So she asks, this was my other critique of the movie. She asks him to show her how bad it can get. Show me the worst it can get. And then he spanked her with a belt 6 times. And I was sitting there watching the movie like, hold on, wait, what? That's the worst it can get?
She ain't never been whooped by Tara.
I was like, because I was thinking, well, doesn't that mean everybody that's ever had a whooping is freaky as I don't know what? If that's the worst it can get? Because, not to say that it didn't hurt, so I'm not going to take away from that experience to say that it wasn't painful. However, I was like, on the level of things that you could have done with BDSM.
And she did not use her safe word, which at any point she could have done that, and she chose to endure something that was beyond her capacity and capability at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And she asked. Like, my thing is, I understand you want to know why he wants to hurt you, but you need to use your words.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you need him to do it to you?
Yeah.
So that you can understand. Like, that didn't make sense to me. Why you mad at him for doing what you asked him to do?
To that level.
Yes.
Like, you were mad, like you were shocked and disgusted mad.
Right.
After you already knew that he was into this, and y'all had already been doing some of it.
You saw the whips. What you think he was doing? You thought that was for decoration?
Yeah, so some of this I was like, I would have understood it had what he'd done been more intense.
Yeah.
But for what took place in the film, because I don't know if in the book it was worse.
It's the same.
It's the same thing? Okay.
I think I would have understood it if she didn't ask for it.
That too.
Like, I get the intensity, but if she would not have asked
And
for
he
it,
would have just done it.
And
Yeah.
he reminded her. Like, he still spoke about consenting. Make sure you say this. Make sure you, like, he still said that even in his excitement. And she said nothing. She laid on that little piece of table thing, bed or whatever it was, and just took it and cried silently.
and it was hurting him because he was like, I need to hear you count. Like, that to me, it came out like, so like, I really don't want to do this to you because I know what you getting ready to see, how you getting ready to see me.
But then as she took it, he thought she was okay with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't see that. His whole demeanor to me was like, I know she's going to change her mind about me.
I didn't see that at all.
Yeah, I thought he was getting aroused.
He was like, after the first comment and she started counting, he was like, okay, she's going to be able to handle this. That's why he was so excited and ready to proceed on into sex afterwards. And that's when she jerked up like she don't know the rules.
Yeah. But either way, homegirl definitely could have handled this differently.
Way different.
You know, because this is, excuse me, you know, this is not like it's a assault type of situation. You know, if this was an assault and she was non-consenting, this is a different conversation.
Yeah.
But this is something that you and him have discussed. This is something y'all have agreed to.
You
have rules. You've researched. You have rules about it. You understand what the rules are.
You have a safe word.
Yeah, you have all of the protections in place. So this was one of my biggest critiques of the film. You know, I just thought that, again, this was an opportunity to go a little bit heavier and show real BDSM versus continuing this narrative of what the mass majority thinks BDSM is and showing this really light version of that. Because a lot of people that are not into BDSM spank.
Yeah.
You know, that's a very low end activity as far as sexual activity goes. So I thought they missed an opportunity to really show, like, maybe not the worst it could be. Because that would have taken this film to a whole, like, X-rated. Yeah, it would have been an X-rated film at that point. But
at least medium.
Right. Like, you could have gone a little bit stronger. But, you know, it is what it is. But it was enough to throw her off, and she was really upset. And they end with the
elevator scene.
Their version of a breakup.
Anna, Christian. And then that was it. Closed.
Sent that poor man into a spiral.
Yes. Yes.
She done returned everything. She me. Oh, we don't go together. Take all this back. Yeah, be bad.
Including the car, and she didn't even have a car.
So as the second movie starts, this is where we learn that Christian has some trauma history.
Yeah.
You know, that he grew up. We eventually learned that his mother was a drug addict and died at some point, and he was in foster care. And
he witnessed it.
He witnessed it and was subsequently adopted by the Greys. And that he's dealing with a lot of this trauma, and it is it's correlated with why he is also in the BDSM community. So he also sends her, very early scene, he sends, I almost said Gray, Anna, some flowers. And I was like, she knows she ain't about to throw them flowers away. Girl, go ahead and put that giant bouquet of white roses.
I was going to say, you can't even put it in your trash can. Stop it.
Because this is a giant bouquet of roses. Like probably 36. It's got to be at least 3 dozen.
In the vase.
A few $100.
Excuse me. And we learned that Elliot and Kate are still going strong.
They go together.
They together.
Yes.
And I was like,
traveling together and everything.
I loved it. We also learned that her friend... yeah. We also learned that her friend Carlos Jose.
You just gonna make this man's name Carlos?
I swear I thought this man's name was Carlos.
I don't know how.
I know it is Jose.
I don't ever remember hearing the word Jose the whole time.
Because you made up a different story.
Like I almost want to play it. Like
It's Jose, trust me.
man.
The cast said it was Jose.
It did. It really did. And I don't know why I'm hearing this dude's name is Carlos. But whatevs. So he we learn again, this man does not understand that he's in the friend zone because he dedicates a whole creepy art exhibit
I said the same thing
to her.
That was so creepy.
I was like, why are men with her so creepy?
Why you got all these, sir?
Giant.
Massive. Like all over the little art museum.
I don't need to be amused. I'm good.
And I said that too, that she was his muse, and then Christian comes and buys them all.
Of course, because he ain't fist to
Be outdone.
No.
outdone or allow another person to have that.
You can't.
Can you imagine? Especially if Jack
Yeah.
got one.
Yeah, you can't take what's mine. I was like, it's just creep all the way around.
Yes.
And I wrote in my notes that men get really obsessed with her.
Mm-hmm.
You know, at some point they all seem to cross over from just like liking and admiring to almost borderline and or obsessed with her.
But then I was like, that sexy kiss in the alley though. I was like, come on, Christian, because you would have got it right there in that alley. And then I would have broke up with you again.
I'd already been pregnant.
Because I'd have been like, as soon as we did in the contract negotiations, I'd have been like, so we together now, right?
Now, y'all, that
But she never signed it.
No, she didn't.
She never signed it.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
After we did our contract negotiations, would have been like, so we together now, right?
That dress, I said, I got to get this weight off of me. Because I got to wear something like that one time with somebody. I don't know who the
You talking about the gold one?
The one for the negotiation.
Oh, the one for the negotiation.
Yeah.
I
Gotcha.
just talking about the gold slinky thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's cute too.
Mm-hmm. Because I ain't never worn that with my back
her
out.
wardrobe completely changed from the thick tights and the nurse shoes.
Completely.
Thank God.
Yes.
Because
She started dressing like a diva.
Yes.
And
That-
the attitude became one.
Was confident in the mug that when she went in that boardroom to talk about the contract.
And when they got married with old girl with the
blueprints.
The blueprint.
Yes.
She'd have got yoked. I ain't even lying.
Yes.
I was like, look at this.
Christian, like, she got you.
He won't even word. He said, you really don't understand who you're dealing with.
Yes.
You think you...
Girl, because I was like, that was so... Ma'am, he is here with his wife. How you just keep... Ma'am, your hand wasn't going to ever come off his body because I was going to break it and it was going to stay stuck on his arm.
There you go. So, we learned lots of things. She finally gets a job. You know, we've introduced Jack, but she's got the job now. And, you know, again, everybody's got a little thingy thing when it comes. But he also got a little thingy thing about power. And
You talking about Jack?
yeah.
Yeah, especially with her being his assistant initially.
And then the
Because
head...
she's not the first.
No,
No.
we don't know what, but yeah.
Right.
And also, up until we get to the third movie, I could not figure out what the issue was with the HR manager.
Girl.
I just was like, what is this woman's deal?
Right.
I was like, is she jealous? Is she because you never get the feeling that she's trying to warn her about something, but there's this weird like
tension or something.
Yeah, and I was like, I could never figure it out, considering because since this was my first time seeing any of these films, I was in the dark about what the intent will become. But I was like, what is this woman's problem?
Yeah.
But because clearly she's got an issue, which we later learn she's being blackmailed by Jack because he had the relations with her and is probably going to try to blackmail her to use it as that she slept her way to the top.
Yeah, even though she didn't.
Right.
And this is the other person, not Anna.
Not Anna. So we also learn that Jack knows who Christian Grey is. Christian doesn't necessarily know who Jack is.
Because why would he?
Yeah.
Right.
But Jack knows who Christian is. He also learns that that Anna is dating Christian, which then sends him over the top.
Whole spiral.
I know, because it was like one of the scenes, I was like, Jack, you staring like you want a harassment suit. Like, what you doing, sir? Get them eyes together.
He was making my flesh crawl.
And you invite her and ain't no other co-workers at the happy hour. That would have been my cue to be like, well, I guess I'm going to go ahead and head on out then.
But thank God.
Again, Christian came in to save the day. And
Taylor
he felt
and Christian be on it.
Oh,
he
yeah.
knew it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Taylor would definitely be on it. That I would love to have him as a bodyguard or a driver person if I ever got to a point in my life where I needed something like that. But, Christian felt the vibes. He knew what was going on.
Yeah, we got to go.
And she was just like, okay, bye. She didn't hesitate
Right.
at all.
She was like Whitley on Different World when Dwayne was like, come on, we got to talk about this. She was like, bye.
So that, of course, sets Jack off even more into his spiral of wanting to capture the life that he believes should have been his. That was handed to or given to Christian.
Because at first I was like, is this a brother that he doesn't know about?
Yes, technically. Foster.
Yeah.
But he had almost practically aged out. I'm like, sir, how delusional are you? All of y'all was struggling. He the cute child. So he's the one that's going to get picked.
Yeah.
You grown and you have problems.
Yeah.
Obviously.
The other thing that I was thinking is you're successful.
Right.
Very.
You may not be a billionaire, but you obviously
did something with your life.
Because you're one of the top at the top firm. You have all of these accolades. So you clearly have become financially and occupationally successful. So why do you even care?
And at the end of the day, if you really want to look at the whole picture, like Christian's adopted brother and sister are not anywhere near as successful as him.
No.
Right.
Nowhere near. So it's not the Grey's money. Yes, it gave him the opportunities.
Yeah.
But it's not the Grey's money that got Christian there. It's technically his trauma.
Absolutely. Yeah, I just didn't understand why he was so jealous. It just did. And if I had another critique for this story, it just doesn't fit. It's like there's an introduction of there has to be some other drama in the story, but it just doesn't quite fit with the rest of what's going on. It just seems a little misplaced.
I would have rather either them been bio brothers or him have some sort of conflict with his adopted siblings, like because he was successful, like and they're not as successful as him,
or if Christian knew him,
right?
If Christian knew him and then he'd be like, oh, here, Jack, here you, it was just like, it just didn't fit. So I think they could have left that or changed that storyline a little bit, but you got to have something other than just sex, I guess.
But his story had enough in it. We would have been okay with his issues with mom and the abuse from
they could have even had
boyfriends.
The abusive boyfriend or whoever he was to come back in and wanted money from him or something. They could have had him come back in since he was abusing them.
Yeah. But we also learn in the second movie that one of Christian's previous subs is out here
stalking
him.
down bad.
Yeah, because she's technically had a psychotic break because I can't think if it was her husband.
Her husband died
suddenly, and so that created a whole problem.
It's so much going on in the world right now, and we could all use some extra support. At Balance Beacon, we offer counseling services for individuals, couples, families, and groups. If you're in Texas, give us a call at 214-396-6503 or visit our website at www.balancebeacon.com for more information. And we also learned that Christian was once a sub himself to Elena, who Anna calls Miss Robinson. I think it's from the movie Risky Business, if I'm not mistaken. Is it right? I think it's Risky Business, because she's talking about a real movie, which is kind of meta, a movie talking about a movie, but. So we learned that Christian was once a sub to a woman who assaulted him,
his adopted mother's age.
When he was a child,
pedophile, because they started their relationship at 15. He was 15.
He was 15, and she was grown.
Yes,
clearly.
because that was his adopted mother's friend.
Yeah, best friend.
Yep.
Her
Girl,
bestie.
the amount. Excuse my language, Mama. The amount of ass whooping that would have happened. You done touched my baby.
When she found out, and she was just like, "Get out of my house." No, when I heard my son say,
she did give us some slap shit out of her.
She did.
It'd have been more than that.
I know.
I'd have been in there stomping her with my red bottoms.
But y'all understand what kind of movie?
Yes,
I get it. But we talking about us.
Right.
Yeah.
Especially, and she couldn't have no kids. And she done adopted these babies.
Yeah. And then you violate him like that. Like you essentially, now he was probably always had a little bit of this in him. But you led him down this path.
She groomed him in the bad way.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a lot.
And the sad part about this to me is that he didn't even know it.
No, because he hadn't had nothing but
pain
in his life. Although not specifically from the mom, his bio mom, but because of her circumstances and who she chose to date. You know, his life was hard, and then he didn't feel worthy, which is also part of his problem in this second film, not feeling worthy of Anastasia. You know what I mean? So that was a hard thing to overcome.
Yeah.
You also see in the second film that Anna starts to question how he's getting some of his information. Because he has her bank account information, and she's like, "Yo, how do you have my bank information?"
Because the amount of $24,000 that he put out, she great. I'm gonna go and go do something with the $24,000 other than give it back to you.
You want me to go put the corset on now and wait on my knees, or do you what did you need me to do?
Contract would have already been signed.
You ready to braid my hair so I can wait for you by the door?
Don't play in these
it's curls.
It's already.
It was like
right
it's
now.
already in braids, sir. Just give me the scrunchie and we good. Like I was like, so she's finally somewhat questioning, like, how do you have access to all this? You know, this seems a little odd. Now, I was also like, you wasn't really worried about all the other times that he was doing things. I don't know why all of a sudden now him having your bank account is what's triggering you to question this, but whatever. Movie plot. You know, we also see kind of in this little set of series of part of the movie that she is really testing his dom nature and being the brat. Like she really kicks it up in the second movie, really, because she's like, "Nah, you ain't about to be doing me like this. You're not doing me like this? And he just like, baby, please, baby, please. That's really kind of what this movie was. Because they go to the ball that his parents have, and the mom is like, oh my God, my girl. Oh, I'm so glad. Oh, I'm so glad.
Well, hold on before they got to the ball, and he brought the
little silver balls.
Yes, I was trying to.
She's like, oh no, you ain't putting that in my butt.
Yeah,
They're
she stuck to that.
they're called Benoit balls,
Mm-hmm.
and they vibrate as you walk.
And she had sneezed. No, she laughed. That's what it was. She was like, oh.
She was like, hold it together.
That was so fun.
Yes.
I actually laughed on that part.
Yes.
Because I was like, I wonder, well, it probably wasn't real, but I was like, if that was real, I was like, that would have been like a funny outtake.
Mm-hmm.
One of those things like they keep, a blooper that they keep in.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, ooh, that's funny. So they go to the family ball, you know, because this family got a lot of money apparently, which I was like, I wonder if, I was like, so Mrs. Grey had to have married into money because she was a nurse.
Yeah,
I thought she was a doctor.
she was a nurse.
She was an, I can't remember. I know she was, I
I
thought
know
she was
in the medical field.
Yeah, I thought she was a nurse, but she was in the medical field. But I was like, she must have married into money as well for them to have this level of socialitism.
Yeah, because I don't know what Mr. Grey did.
Mm-hmm. But they go to the ball, and the mom was like, "Girl, I'm so glad you with my son, because without you, he would be nowhere. Stay with him, please." And you know, they doing their little thing, and he like, "How you like them things over there, girl? How you feeling, girl?" And she just over there about to have a whole fit, you know, in the chair over there.
Okay, so sidebar. Christian Grey's adopted father is a lawyer and a businessman, and then mom is the doctor.
Oh, she is a doctor.
Yeah, Dr. Grey's Trevelyan Grey. So they both came from money, because I remember them talking about how she kept her name.
Okay. Well, I knew she was in medical. I thought, my bad, sexism. I thought she was a nurse. But you know, she's having a little good old time with them balls over there, and he's like, "Hey, girl." After she bids on the trip that he put up for auction,
the Aspen House or something like that.
Yeah, some week long vacation. She just went ahead and
At his house.
jumped the bid all the way up to $24,000. But that's her having game without knowing that she really got game, and being the brat / dom in the situation.
Here she is switching.
Okay. Because I was like, man, she is so sassy. I wrote that a lot in my notes. I was like, she's so sassy.
That's why she got them spankings.
So he like, girl, I can't take it no more. You ready to go take this to the room? Because this driving me insane. And she's like, yeah, let's go do this. So they do a little freaky thing, you know. Again, he's very gentle with her. Gentle on the BDSM, just how they had rope with them. I was like, okay, so y'all was ready for this already? Did you have rope in your room? Like, I was like, how did you have rope already?
It's Christian. He's always prepared.
I thought he didn't use his tie.
Oh, it was red rope.
Oh,
I think it was the rope from the store.
Yeah, it was. Because I think he said something about he been waiting to use this or something like that.
I was like, you just had that ready to go?
No.
But I was like, okay, but I guess so, you know.
Where are you storing it? You got it in your pocket?
That's what I was like. Did you have it in your room already?
Taylor put it in there.
Who?
Taylor.
Oh, Taylor.
Okay.
He was like, let me go ahead and get you set up,
Right.
Because everybody clearly knows what he be into. But
I
them
guess
NDAs must be airtight.
Right.
Or everybody understands the assignment.
Right.
You know, so we see Anna goes to the bathroom to get herself back together. And she sees Mrs. Robinson / Elena. And here she go, because she really jealous. That's really what it is.
Girl.
You took what's mine.
Which you didn't even have no more. Anyway.
For like a long time, it seems like.
Yeah, they hadn't been intimate in I think he said since he became a full-fledged adult.
Yeah. So years, ma'am. This man is
'cause
clearly in his
He
mid-20s.
ain't even your type no more. He's a grown man. That ain't your type. You like teenagers.
Right. So, but she jealous.
Mm-hmm.
She like, nah, he need a sub in real life, not just in the bedroom. And I was like, okay, if you think so. Clearly you don't know him. But I know what he want.
And I got what he need because I'm the same age as him.
And it ain't her because she's a blonde.
That too.
That's not his preference.
No, he likes
Good
brunettes with long hair and that mousy demeanor.
Like his mom.
That we later learn.
Mm-hmm.
So it's also at this time that Christian tries to start introducing her to different types of toys, clamps, things like that, to show her that these things are, you don't have to be afraid of them. I like that he educates her on what it is, what's going on, and what's available, so that she doesn't have to be afraid of how these things operate. Because if you just look at some of these things off the rip, they can look like, torture devices from like the Middle Ages or something, the Iron Maiden or some stuff out here. And they can look very intimidating. So, I was like when he had put her feet in those leg cuffs with the
and
bar
he spread them,
and flipped her over.
It's a leg
I was
spreader.
like, that looked like this fun.
Girl, I was on the Googles. Where are those things located? Because
I got a person. I got to hook up.
holla if you hear me.
Now be prepared because you ain't going to be able to move.
Well, I mean, yes, clearly you can see in the
Right.
thing, like full spread eagle.
Right.
Yes.
But I was like, but he, again, is very patient with her. He asked her, "Are you ready?"
Oh, consent. Ain't that beautiful?
And then she was like, "Yeah." And then I wasn't, but yes, I am. And baby, he turned her over like it won't nothing.
Yep.
I was like, dang, could you imagine that in real life? Somebody just completely floop like a pancake.
Right.
There was this guy once. His name is Valentino. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah. I was like, nah. So I'm going to buy these movies.
At least the second one.
At least, and go back and like, okay, so what is this?
You're going to be like, Nichelle, now where did I buy this
like,
one?
so if you pause the movie at
You see that little black
14 minutes
right there?
and 33 seconds, what is that thing?
Y'all, she really was sending that to me for real.
Because some of this stuff looks interesting. I mean, that's the whole point of, watching a film like this is like, to learn, take you into fantasy, open your mind and explore the options. You just got to educate yourself.
Clearly.
So, the basic sum up of the second movie is she and Christian get to a point where they're, for the most part, on the same page with each other.
Still no contract has been signed, but he is willing to give her date nights and her cuddling after intimacy, and she is willing to allow him to lead her in the BDSM lifestyle, which I think is a great compromise, because if y'all are going to live this, you're going to have to make sure that it works for both of you. And then as this part of the movie unfolds, we realize that she is very much a dominant person.
And this comes after she sees him with the young lady's name is Leela, the previous sub that he had.
Yeah, I just called her creepy girl.
Leela,
She
was
was
having
being
a
creepy.
psychotic
I
break.
get it, but she was creepy.
Because she got to see him in the truer version of Dom.
Yes.
Like with somebody that's almost like a slave versus a
Slave
sub.
and master, yeah.
Yeah, because she even called him master. So that was leaning into a little different version. But that's a hard thing. One, it's already an emotionally charged situation because she just fired a gun towards you. And this woman clearly looks like she's disturbed.
She broke into both of their houses, but Anna's house last. So, yeah.
And she
And
looked
when
like
Christian, once she shot off the gun, Christian came up and saw that it was her and
he turned into a different person.
And he put the focus on him and began to dominate her.
Mm-hmm. And she was grateful for that. And I can, not to excuse her behavior because it was not good, but I can understand, you know, why she needed Christian to direct her, because she was lost at this point, to find the love of your life, and then that person is gone. She needed the structure of that dominant relationship to pull her back from the edge.
Mm-hmm. She was grieving in a way that if you was not in that type of BDSM relationship, you wouldn't understand.
Yeah. And we don't know this, but there's potential that her partner was a dom as well.
True. Mm-hmm.
So if he was, and if he was more of a master, because it seemed like that may have been her thing.
Mm-hmm.
Her thing. If he was more of a master and she was a slave, then I'm gonna have to go back and revert to my last master.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how is she gonna take care of herself? Mm-hmm. You know, there's just, her mind is incapable of fathoming, you know, life without that person. You know, people who are not in the lifestyle think like that sometimes when someone dies. So let alone, you know, your significant other. Because I think they she'd only been separated from Christian for what, like 2 or 3 years? It wasn't very long.
It wasn't long.
No.
And in the I would imagine that she married someone like the daddy dom, like how Christian is. So like you said, she found someone else to take care of her.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, and even on Anna's part, that is a lot to watch, because the way he is with me, this is not how he is with me. You know, he does not have full total control.
He said down and she went down. I was like, God down.
First, he said, point the gun at me. And then down. Because I think he said kneel.
Kneel. Okay. I couldn't remember which one it was.
And she got right on them knees, head down.
And he had to touch her more intimately, but, you know, it is what it is. And I think that was a turning point for Anna.
Yeah.
To realize how much Christian was giving up to be with her.
Yeah.
But it also motivated her to participate in, you know, different things, like going to therapy as a couple. You know, asking him the tough questions and not shying away from it.
Yeah. Which he didn't either. He wanted to.
But she
pushed
was
him.
adamant.
Yeah. Yes, she definitely was adamant. Even when it came to like his safe zone.
Yes.
You know?
Now I enjoyed. I liked that
he enjoyed it.
Yeah, I did. I liked that she was able to be gentle with him as well, and allow him to come around to letting her in when he was ready. Although she was adamant about it, he finally let her in because she kept on him about letting her in.
Yeah, absolutely. They did it. They had a good, when it worked, it worked.
Yes.
They had a good balance and back and forth with one another. But they had some clear areas of non-communication because she didn't even know when his man's birthday was.
I mean, it's new. It's new.
The timing, I forgot.
Yes.
I'm surprised you even know this man's last name.
He's a billionaire.
And it's on his building.
Yes.
And she had to interview him, so that's probably the only reason why.
Right. So they learned about his birthday. They, you know, have the birthday party. Oh, no, first he goes missing before this. But he goes missing and all this other stuff and ends up being okay. But this also sealed her in the family.
But say why he went missing.
Because he went on a helicopter ride for
work.
For work.
And somebody
tampered.
Somebody, quote unquote, Jack.
His foster brother, not adoptive brother, but foster.
Tampered with the helicopter.
Oh,
trying to off him, but it didn't work.
What gonna happen if you off him? You not getting Anna.
And you're not getting your job back.
None of the three.
Oh, because Christian bought the publishing company for Anna.
And he fired him. And he fired him because he tried to force Anna into doing some things. Yes.
Sidebar. I could not ever tell if she was getting promoted truly because of her skill or was she being promoted because of him. I could never really tell. It felt like both.
She got promoted before the merger happened, but it was like promotion, and then he took over.
Mm-hmm.
And then she found out and was mad at him.
Yeah.
But it almost happened at the same time.
Yeah. I was like,
because remember she did
Because
good review or whatever.
But she also didn't find out that she was promoted either until she got back from that one of them trips. Because she was gone for a while, and that's when the hater girl. Aspen somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting Twilight mixed up, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. So of course he turns out to be fine. Yay!
He's back, and he acting like he don't know why people all at his house
and upset.
Right.
Poor Anna is distraught.
But I did like that he was hugging his family. He was like, "Okay, I got to go check on my girl." I was like,
he did.
I was like, "Come on, you called her your girl."
He did. I peeped that too.
This is my girlfriend.
Mm-hmm. She was like, "Oh, okay.
Let me find out you claiming me,
and I'm not just your sub."
Okay.
Like I said, let me go put the corset on and kneel.
Okay.
And of course, she, like we said, she's getting more open to the idea of some of these things and actually enjoying it because clearly she likes what's happening now versus at the end of the first movie. Because you don't really ever see her from here forward turn away from the sexual activity. Like the rest of the stuff that happens throughout the rest of the second movie and pretty much the whole third movie is stuff not related to their sexual activity.
Right. And she only used her safe word once.
Yeah, between all three films, right?
Right.
So that's why I say I feel like the third movie could have been because I'm like, it really wasn't about the BDSM
anymore.
It really was like,
they're having a relationship.
Yes. So they also have the birthday party. This is where the mom actually finds out that her BFF, assaulted a minor, namely her adoptive son. And see, I thought, okay, Jack and Elena are going to get together and try to get revenge on Chris. See, I was like, okay, so I thought they was going to do.
Elena ain't on Jack level. At all. And Elena also knows she got to go sit down somewhere because Grey owns her salon.
Right.
That's true.
So you just got to be okay with it. Oh, well, he said he was severing them.
He sure did. So, he sure did.
So you're done. And then let's see what else happens here.
They get engaged.
That's right. She has the storybook, fireworks, and they love me like you do. Love me. That was like the theme song throughout the whole three films.
Yes.
Even though the words made a lot of sense for, that he took the pace and I let you lead the way or something like that. I can't remember all the specific words. But, by this time we got to the third film and they open with them getting married.
Pause. The second movie ends with Jack outside of the Grey's house staring
at the proposal while the fireworks are going off.
Yeah.
Yep.
Jealous, stewing and brooding over there.
I'm like, get your life together. You already done got fired. Go get another job.
And you ruined your own life.
It's not because of Anna or Christian. It is because you are
nasty,
a perpetrator.
Yes, that's what I didn't understand. You're gonna blame this man for your success because it was not even like your lack of success. And you are successful.
And dude,
I just didn't understand it.
You just messed with the wrong girl because the other ones didn't complain about you. So if you would have just left her alone, you would have still had your job. No
means no. Or you gonna catch these hands.
And you knew she was with Chris. Like, I just didn't understand. That's some of the flaw. I just didn't get it. But
I mean, he obviously got a little bit of personality disorder on him too. But
gosh,
yes, absolutely,
and some regular diagnosis.
Yeah,
yeah, all of that. So they get married and all these things. There's this movie. I think we could wrap up really quickly.
Yeah. Now their honeymoon was fire.
The honeymoon was fire. They was doing all of the fun honeymoon things.
I was like
riding bikes in Paris, going to the beach.
How you go on a honeymoon for 3 weeks?
I mean, when you're a
How
billionaire.
you go to a nude beach and don't want your wife to be nude?
But I understood though.
No, because
He was like, yeah, if they take pictures of you and put them on the front of a magazine.
I don't give a damn. I'm on my honeymoon. I don't give two. I was about to cuss real hard.
Yes, but you got to remember, he's being in protector mode versus what he's okay with her being nude. It's the fact that she has this position and he's trying to protect her.
Do you see that facial expression of I don't give a.
Well, you don't give a but
And she didn't either because she ended up nude.
She didn't.
She didn't, but she also wasn't okay either. She wasn't the most comfortable once she realized what had happened.
Yeah. Dang. But it worked when it worked. And when it didn't, it didn't. She also, we learn, now that she's a Grey, she has a lifestyle that she needs to maintain now. So this includes, you have servants and
see, I get that, but then don't go to a nude beach. I get the you ain't got to be on. You don't want to be on the front of a magazine and all that, but don't take me to a nude beach then.
Oh yeah,
because they still can take a picture of us being on a nude beach, which ain't good either.
Agreed. I mean, that's why I say when it worked, it worked, and when it didn't, it didn't. But now she has to deal with servants and just social lifestyle, all that kind of stuff, and she's not used to that. So when the lady, what's her name? I don't know what the one.
Which person are you talking about?
The one that was his housekeeper.
The
housekeeper.
I don't remember her name.
It wasn't Minnie, but that's what I want to call her.
We'll say Minnie. She's like, you're gonna have to pick out the, how do you want to decorate? All these things. How are you gonna manage the home? She's in a world now that she's never had to be a part of. So,
and I like that the housekeeper, and I hate this is gonna sound worse than I mean it, knew her place. Like she was willing and able to give up the house.
Yeah, she was like, this is your kitchen. You want to cook? Go ahead and cook.
Right.
That's a day off for me.
Mrs. Jones.
Miss Jones. She was like, go ahead and cook, girl. Whatever. This your house.
Because she wanted him to be happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can tell the people that are in his life, even though they work for him, respect him and want what's best for him. So he must be a good boss.
Yeah.
Despite, having so much money. So she's trying to, figure out how to balance being that person with staying true to who she is. Because she likes to work. He doesn't want her to work. He like, girl, just stay at the house and just live. And she's like, no, I'm going to work. I'm going to be insane staying in here.
Amen.
I know.
But, of course, later on, we go and he buys the house that he saw while they was, driving the boat. And then the stupid architect tries to get all up on him, and she was very forward and in her face. And Anna was like, let me show you this rock right here.
Slam that hand down like she was Ayanla. Not on my watch.
Yes. And read her for filth.
Up and down.
Yeah, but she got it together because she wanted to keep that commission.
Because that mean more to me.
She got that
than your husband.
Exactly.
Because he married, so even if there would be nothing that I would gain in this situation.
No. And he don't even seem like he interested anyway, so
he's been married for a whole month, ma'am.
And this goes also back to, this is a blonde woman.
Yes.
And his preference is a brunette. So she would have only been a plaything, even if he would have gone that route. She wouldn't have been a serious consideration. But she got her together, and she went on and went back to her hole that she crawled out of. And, again, all the things, the families, all to get together, they're having a good time.
Oh, but pause.
And, okay.
Because ain't this where Jack ramps up?
He does.
And stalks them out from the showing of the home.
Yeah, because he started chasing them. He was following them.
He didn't know who it was at that moment, but it's Jack.
Oh, actually, no, it wasn't Jack. It was Liz, because they said it was a woman.
Oh, from The Office.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so they also get followed and all these kinds of things. It's just a lot happening in
But
in
after
this one.
after she did that snatchback with the architect, he let her drive.
Yeah.
He had some respect on it.
But that was also scary because now they're getting stalked.
Mm-hmm.
You
And
know,
she
know
seemed
it.
to enjoy it.
Well-
It was arousal for
Well,
her.
later,
It
yes,
was.
but I'm saying
It
like
was.
it's like him as a dom being like, dang, I made the wrong choice with letting her drive because now someone's
Now I gotta
chasing
have
her.
Mm-hmm.
But she was like, that adrenaline. Give
She
it to
was-
me now.
She
They
was
could not
driving like
even-
she was in Fast and the Furious.
Okay.
She was. I was
Yes.
like, who is this woman?
I know.
This is not the
This is
same woman
Yes.
from
you
the
have
first
matured
movie.
a lot.
Like, that's all it took was getting some D. Like, that's it.
And
That's
the leg spreader.
and the leg spreader and
And a
the
spank.
flogging. Like that's all it took. And that wasn't even no real flogging. That was just like some just drapery. But I was like, that's all it took for her to go from that to driving like Fast and the Furious. Like, where is that at in life? But so just trying to kind of wrap some things up here. Elliot and Kate get engaged.
Mm-hmm.
So yay. It seems like what's that man?
Jose.
Or watch. I'm gonna search this and I'm gonna send y'all a clip and be like, see, I told you his name was Carlos.
And send it to us when you say,
oh
yeah, y'all were right. It was Jose.
I will. But it also seems like he might be interested in the sister.
Yes.
But
yes, he is.
it didn't seem like she was trying to give him no play either. I wasn't quite sure.
I think she was playing coy, to be honest.
Okay.
Like
I
she
couldn't
was like,
tell.
I couldn't tell what her vibe was.
mm-hmm. But that they was the only two Latinos in the film, so
Of course they got to get together. So the brother and her best friend get engaged, and it's all gravy. So let's see. We also see Christian opening up even more because he sings for the first time, and the siblings are like, "What?"
I have never heard him sing.
and they've been with him almost his whole life.
Mm-hmm. So she really has opened up.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's now no longer like charcoal gray. He may be like a nice medium.
He's a dark heather.
I was thinking like almost a heather gray at this point. So what else do we have?
Isn't this around the time where Anna is also getting tired of the security detail and all of that kind of stuff, and it's like, no, I'm gonna go out with Kate,
Yeah.
so we can celebrate like we used to because she's been cooped up and all these couple of months.
That's what I'm
All
like.
these couple of months.
And this is where I wrote the timeline for this movie. It's crazy.
It's going fast. At least they are sticking to the timeline, at least, but it's going quickly. And so in this part of the movie, we find out that Christian is right to have the security detail because as she comes home, Jack done broke into the house and he done got bust upside the head by Taylor.
Yeah.
And he laid out somewhere.
Yeah.
And so there was a whole plan to actually kidnap her and I guess use her for ransom. Some stupid.
Yeah, because that's what he ended up doing with the sister.
Yeah.
So it was just, I'm like, sir, you would have had your own money.
Had you ruined your own life. You were this is why I said I don't get this this version of what happened because he was already successful. It wasn't like he was an up and coming publisher, like he was in debt to some loan sharks. Like for all description the movie gave us, this man is
an editor already
and is financially set.
So if self-sabotage was a meme, it would be Jack.
Yes.
Okay. But it also, I guess, shows you how dark his life probably was and how much he was keeping a secret, because you don't just become this type of person without some huge trigger, and you've been doing this mining type of stuff. But the cops didn't do their job.
Yeah.
And somehow he got free.
Yeah. He posted bail. Bond, one of the two. I can't remember
He
which
shouldn't
one.
have been able to. Which tells you he had money.
Because it was 500,000.
Right.
Who?
But that's why he kidnapped. Well,
Sally Mae got it.
No.
He was gonna kidnap the sister anyway, but he kidnapped the sister to probably get the money back. But he wanted $5 million.
Which I was like, $5 million? This man is a billionaire, and you owe $5 million?
You could have probably just texted him and asked him for that.
He playing checkers on a chessboard.
Okay, whoever wrote this book,
E.L. James.
E.L. James,
Woman.
I knew it was a woman. I just couldn't remember what the name of the person's name was. E.L. James. I appreciate what you attempted to do, but we could have did something a little bit more feasible than this. We also learned that Anna is pregnant.
Pregnante.
Which throws Christian into a whole spiral.
This is when they are at Aspen, actually. When they come back from Aspen.
Oh, yeah.
So throws him into a whole spiral. He goes out drinking, and he's not really a drinker like that.
He is a lightweight.
And then goes to see Mrs. Robinson.
Girl, that was the worst decision ever.
That's why he got his butt handed to him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, rightfully so, because she was like, "Oh no. The time for talking was yesterday, not today."
It's like, Anna, you better dominate him.
He is a true switch. Like, he just was like,
They both are, really.
baby, please, baby, please. And then, of course, he eventually, as we know, comes around to the idea of her having a baby. But it's a shock. He's gone his whole life thinking one way, being afraid to be a father because of, his own experience, and how quickly all of this is happening. Like, we just barely met each other like 6 months ago, because at the end of the movie, this baby is walking. So,
oh Lord,
yeah, but
and it take 10 months. And then the baby was walking. So, we only met each other like 3 months ago. So that's a lot at one time. But I did think she made a lot of good points about communication when it comes to frustrations and fears, and going to confide in somebody else about a problem with me.
With the pedophile.
And yes, on top of that.
On top of
You
that.
could have went talk to your mama. She been married.
Right.
This whole time.
Right. I
Yes.
would have still been upset because you didn't talk to me, but at least I wouldn't have been that upset because you talked to the perpetrator.
Mm-hmm.
But this is also going to send him spiraling into more of his dominant energy, his masculine energy, because now he's going to become uber protector.
Yeah. But, just how the movie ends, Jack and HR lady are caught in the weirdest of fashions. She shoots him in the leg. I was like,
Well, you got to
what?
rewind.
No, what?
Because, like we said, Mia gets kidnapped because they were supposed to do something together. I don't remember what it was. Probably shopping because it's Mia. But they were supposed to go out. Mia gets snatched first, gets the phone call. And Anna, with her pregnant self, says, I can save her.
Yes. Because
Jack called her
Yeah.
and told her not to tell anybody.
Which I was like, why?
But I'm like, you could have called Taylor and this would have been over in a heartbeat.
Yes.
That man, his connections is
right.
far.
Cold-blooded. That's what I didn't. I was like, why would you do this? Again, I just didn't understand this.
Yes.
All of this. I was like, this could have all been cut.
First of all, Jack ain't even scary. He just crazy.
That's it.
That's it. I'm trying to phrase this so we don't get demonetized.
It's okay because you already said pedophile.
That is true. He wouldn't have had no brains.
Mm-hmm. Like the scarecrow.
They'd have been splattered.
Yeah, I was just like, why? Why would you not tell somebody? And first of all, I didn't understand what happened at the bank. You literally you get audited if you do anything with $10,000, and you took out $5 million.
But they called him, and he was like, "Yeah,"
Give
and
my
because
wife
he's
whatever
smart,
she need.
he knows something is going on, and he's like, "What is happening?"
And there's literally no way you would have been able to carry $5 million in cash. You like the weight that $5 million, like you would not have been able to carry that. It would not fit in one bag. Like that would be bags and bags and bags.
I don't understand. Once she did the drop off, what was the point of the beat up?
Because he got mad. I want to show you, bitch. That's what it was.
I mean, it sounded like white men. And
That's what it was. He was like, nah, this ain't enough.
I was like, so you done, first of all, you done beat up all these women before her. Now you done beat up Liz. And now you gonna beat up Anna and Mia because you want $5 million that you could have already had.
Or probably did already have. Like,
Sir,
I just didn't understand.
Yeah, I did not. Yeah.
And I was like, first of all, what you not supposed to do, hit me in my M&F stomach.
Yes.
Yeah.
So now I got to kill you.
And she shot him in the leg. Bow.
Shot him in his pinky toe.
And she hit that fool right in the kneecap. Like, it was like, her aim was, and she didn't even look. She just held it and went, bow. I was like, how you had that kind of aim? Because that bullet should have literally went anywhere. Like, you probably should have hit Mia. Like, it just was like, boom, right in the kneecap. But, of course, you know, as plot goes, he get caught immediately. The cavalry shows up as soon as she shoots him in the knee.
Now, did she get shot too?
No.
Or
No.
did she just got hit
just
bad
He just punched her
And kicked her.
and kicked her.
in her belly?
I also thought that the makeup injuries was off to me.
We're not gonna go
Okay.
there.
Because I was like, well, for the amount of beat up that she got, that's too much makeup in one scene, but then not enough makeup in the next one.
Because
So
I was
what
surprised she didn't lose the baby.
So
'cause
what?
he did kick her.
Yeah, what I will say, in the movie, she got beat up worse.
In the movie?
I mean, in the book,
Oh.
she got beat up worse
Gotcha.
Okay.
than she did in the movie. So there's some discrepancies with what that should have looked like.
Gotcha. Okay. But she does not lose said baby.
Now she wasn't in the hospital for a couple of days though.
I probably had a little light concussion.
Girl, I'd have been tore up.
And then, you know, we have a little montage towards the end.
Pause. Ironically, E.L. James put in there that her father had got hit by a drunk driver too at this time. So all this stuff is happening. And it's just weird stuff happening in the movie that don't really go together. You could have kept that in your back pocket. Daddy was there, but he wasn't like an integral part of her life in the movie.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, again, there was lots. I was like, the third movie I could have done without.
smushy.
So of course, you know, after things are, you know, said and done, and they have the baby, and they're, nope, yeah, no,
They're sitting on the what are you forgetting?
when she finally gets to the end, and she's staring at him at the, is he at the piano? And she was staring at him at the piano, and she's like, "Okay, I'm about to do this." And be full on.
Yeah, that was before though. That was before
They show them with the kids.
Yeah, I think that was before the ransom and stuff. It wasn't?
No, it's after all of that. Because it was the last scene, and then the part with the kids is a post credit.
Okay. Got you. But yeah, she did a good job.
Because she was just staring,
Yes.
she was staring at him and going through their life.
Oh, yeah.
Everything like,
that.
oh dang man, we really been through some joint all the way from
Fast.
right, because she was looking at him like they've been together 30 years or something. And I was like,
That's
girl,
what
it's
it
been
felt
like,
like.
yes.
This is when she truly kneels.
This is like 9 months. What you talking about?
She did.
And she did.
And she looks so beautiful.
Mhm.
I know that's weird to say, but people who are in the lifestyle, she looked really beautiful.
She did.
Hair tied back like
She
it was
was
supposed
ready.
to be.
Yeah.
Sitting like she's supposed to be sitting. Now my ankles wouldn't.
Knees.
I'm gonna need. Can I get a chair?
The arthritis.
Can I sit in Indian style?
I don't even want to do that.
No, that's what I'm saying.
my
Can we get a good old one of them metal fold out chairs? Like,
with a pillow.
I know, because my butt be hurting.
okay, because I was like, the knees, the way she was sitting on them knees.
I gotta work my way up to that. I have to go to the stretching center.
Give me a cortisone shot first, then I'll let you know when I'm ready.
Pilates.
But she went into like full-fledged sub.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the more truer version of what that looks like.
Yeah.
But I did like that I was like, oh, so she was like, I'm ready.
Which, I mean, she done got kicked to death. She ain't got nothing to lose now.
And he was like,
He was like, oh, all I think I had to do was marry you?
really now?
You'd be surprised what you get.
When you're married.
Mm-hmm. But I rewound this part, I know at least 3 or 4 times. I could not tell what he was saying.
I couldn't either.
On which part?
What he said to her when he walked in there.
Yeah.
He said I was like, what is this man's? I could not. I rewound it.
I did
and
too.
I was like,
I rewound it like 4 times and I still couldn't understand it.
I'll watch it again and tell y'all. Because I can see the scene, but I can't think.
Because I was like, my brain was trying to tell me he said that you're doing something from the bottom up. But I was like, what? That doesn't make sense.
I thought I heard something about bottom too, but I was like, what is he saying?
Yeah, I couldn't tell.
I'll watch it again and tell y'all because I can't remember.
But then she turned her head to the side like, oh, yeah, it's about to go down. I can only imagine the things they got into that day.
Y'all should have showed us that part.
Thank you.
It was probably some kimbaku, aka rope tying.
Because she was like, yes, sir. He was like, oh. My God.
You know, there was this there was a TikTok on a few weeks ago about how good girls talk to you when you start doing stuff right, and they be like, yes, sir. I'd be like,
because she was staring at him like, nah, this fool really did. He did for me.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, you know what? Let me be his what sub. Let me be what he really needs in this moment. And she finally felt safe.
Because that's the thing. That's the part that people who are fake doms don't realize. Your submissive can't go where you need them to go until you make them safe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she wasn't worried. Like she knew at that point, she knew there was nothing to worry about. That whatever he did to her was not going to be for pain's sake.
Mm-hmm.
No.
And she got the opportunity to witness or experience him immediately respecting her safe word.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because it wasn't no further. It wasn't no talking her into continuing to go forward.
Them buckles came off
quickly.
It was almost like he couldn't get them off fast enough. He was like, dang, I wish these things had snaps instead of buckles.
You went on, put them jeans on, and you got ready.
Mm-hmm.
Barefoot.
Everything. So then after that, they show them with the kid and with another one on the way.
Mm-hmm.
And
she being kinky with the baby on the way.
Mm-hmm.
I think the boy name is Teddy and the girl name is Phoebe.
Oh, see, they don't say all that in the movie, but the book. But now where you get the title of the movie that, 50 Shades Freed.
Mm-hmm.
Because now so if we're going to go with Grey, he is freed. He is free to be who he is and live the life of both.
Yeah.
I can be the loving, gentle man, but I can still be the dom,
in control
in other aspects of life.
So you had a balance.
Mm-hmm. I love the title progression too of the movies.
Mm-hmm.
I think it
because it's all about his evolution. Yes, yeah. Anna is evolving as well, but it's literally 50 Shades of Grey. Like he is trying to figure himself out. It's really, the movie is not really about Anna.
No,
it's technically about him, even though of course sex sells with a woman more than it does a man. So
yeah, but yeah, so rating, I'm gonna have to give 2, maybe 3.
Well, just tell us the parameters of it.
My first rating is the trilogy all together. I would give them all together a solid I'm going to say 2.75 all together. Because I really think that the third movie takes away from the other 2.
Okay.
Now, I'm not going to rate the third one by itself. The other 2 movies, 50 Shades of Grey, I would give a 3.25.
Okay.
And I would give 50 Shades Darker 3.75.
Okay. What about plot?
Oh,
Overall plot of...
just plot, pure plot?
Yeah, not necessarily the craziness that was occurring, just the overall theme of the movie tied with everything.
Gotcha. Theme without the crazy mumbo jumbo. I would say a 5.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I think it's a great way to introduce this lifestyle to people that are interested and can explore further.
Okay.
Yeah.
3.75
total. Everything.
All across the board.
I could do without the third one, but but I would say the first two, yes, 3.75, and I would say I would give it a 4.5 actually for the plot, because I do agree with Dr. Strickland. It does give a good introduction to BDSM, and you know it doesn't scare you like, oh, okay, that's oh no, I don't want to do that. You know, but instead it made, yeah, get me one of those rooms. Somebody come decorate.
I mean, y'all do got some extra room.
Hey,
you know. Yes. Okay, so for me, if I do it the way Dr. Strickland broke it down, I would say overall I would give it a 3 for everything. I would keep the third movie, but I would probably add it to the second, because the third movie you get more spicy scenes.
That is true.
Not deep spicy. We ain't talking about like, it ain't habanero. It's like
a poblano.
Yeah. But it's spicy because it takes so long to evolve into that. So I wouldn't delete everything. It just had to get connected to the second one. But the first one I would probably give I'd probably give it a 2.78.
Okay.
Because the book and the first movie
that's not fair.
So
you can't rate it with the book.
Slow. They both slow. Like it's no difference. They just really, it's like it drags a little bit. So I think we could have got to the point quicker. But the second movie, I definitely would probably give a 3.8.
Okay.
And then as far as the plot, I would probably also give it a 5. I liked the fact that we got to see what made Christian Grey who he was from birth.
Yeah.
How the abuse hurt him, how he ended up trauma bonding with Mrs. Robinson, and then later his character was able to develop. He was never really about being stuck. He was always about growth. He just never had someone he felt safe with to work on the more intimate parts of himself.
Yeah.
And then I like Anna's development because she was able to grow from this very green, snarky woman into this full-fledged sarcastic and dominant woman.
Yeah.
And then I loved their supporting people, like for them. Like Kat is a hot mess.
Yeah, they
Elliot's
held them both accountable.
Mess.
Yeah, their friends, family held them accountable, supported them when necessary.
Even Hannah, Anna's assistant,
the black girl.
Oh yeah,
the one black person.
She was
it's
feeling,
more than one black person.
The other, what's his name? What was his name? The other bodyguard dude.
I can't remember, but yeah.
I can't remember his name, but she was feeling him.
Yeah. I agree. I liked, I just liked their setup. It's not often that you have a really good all the way around supporting cast in a film. It's like one here, one there, somebody getting on my nerves. But I truly think that they picked good people to represent this family unit.
Yeah.
So
agreed. Okay, so of course we say this every time. Help the algorithms, guys. Comment, like, share, subscribe. We want to help, you want to help us grow. This is one of the ways to be able to do that so that we can reach a wider audience and, help educate people out there, entertain people out there in the world. So we're definitely, asking if you could do just that little thing. It don't hurt. This is one of those things that don't cost money.
So if you see us on your feed, push the button.
Mm-hmm. As you scrolling.
Support don't have to be money. That's gonna come later, But push the button,
and then tell us what you think about this breakdown.
Oh yeah, because this one's got some things.
It's got some spicy.
Now, like we've been doing, we also want to make sure that you guys know what is coming up for the next month. We gonna tame it down a little bit because we can't be at this level all the time. It's messing us up. Next month is March, which is also Dr. Strickland's birthday month.
Aries, gang gang.
It's her last year of a decade. You ready?
Oh, she about to be grown, y'all.
Oh yeah. Yeah, what they say, 40 and fine. Party time.
So next month, which is March, is going to be about several different things, but the overall theme is becoming grown and adjusting to that. So our first week is going to be about having your career together, but not your personal life and the sacrifice that you make in that area. The next one is going to be, sisterhood. How do you make adult friends, sisterhood or brotherhood? And we have another one that we are working on. We haven't quite identified what we want that to be. So that's going to be a little bit of a secret. Our MMB for that month is going to be Waiting to Exhale, the classic. Mm-hmm. And you will have your first Disprod of the year.
Yes, live. So excited.
Must be this volume control.
So, okay, interns, process your notes. Be sure to catch us next session and find us on all major platforms at the Repsychled Podcast.
If you're a new intern, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share.
Thanks for listening. And remember, we are shifting and reshaping our psyche through healing conversations and connections, one discussion at a time.